What's up everybody, back on the Shadowlands beta with some more raid testing for you. So today we're taking a look at Shriekwing and the new raid castle Nathria. Before we start, I just want to point out that this is very early beta, so a lot of things will change. So this is by no means a guide on how to, and probably not how the encounters will end up once this goes live. And lastly, due to it being beta, there's a lot of bugs, a lot of lag, and weird stuff going on. Anyways, two-phase fight alternating between these two phases, with lots of line of sight mechanics. Healers rejoice! Throughout the fight, various abilities will apply Exsanguinate, reduces healing taken by 10% and movement speed by 5%, and this stacks up to 10 stacks. So healing immunity and you move like a snail. Also deals ticking damage increased by the amount of stacks you have. These stacks last for 3 minutes and can be removed by standing in blood pools from another mechanic, which I'll go over soon. Shriekwing will also use Exsanguinating Bite on the active tank, dealing a large amount of physical damage, and it applies 4 stacks of Exsanguinate. This also gives Shriekwing 10 blood, or energy if you will, and at 100 blood the intermission or phase 2 starts. On top of this, its melee attacks also cleave, so they deal damage in a 12-yard cone in front of it. Periodically, Shriekwing will cast Sanguine Feast, which deals damage to everyone in the raid and applies 1 stack of Exsanguinate. The boss will also mark a random non-tank player with Dark Descent, shortly after she descends on that player, dealing a large amount of damage to anyone within 10 yards of her impact location, then jumps back to her original position, which also deals impact damage here. Following this is the Splitting Shriek, which deals a ton of raid-wide damage reduced by line of sight. So if you hide behind one of the pillars, you will take significantly less damage. This also leaves a ticking dot that lasts for 8 seconds. And following this you spawn a blood pool, and standing in this pool deals ticking damage but removes a stack of Exsanguinate every second, so that's your reset mechanic. Following this, every now and then she will cast Echo Screech, slowly spins around and sends out echoing shrieks that deal a large amount of physical damage and stuns anyone hit for 6 seconds. These will also bounce off the walls and pillars. And as I mentioned before, at 100 blood or energy, whatever you want to call it, phase 2 starts. Boss jumps into the middle of the room and takes 99% less damage and start casting Dark Sonar, which is a ton and ton of sonar waves that bounce around the room against the walls and the pillars. If a player is hit by one of these, they are detected by the blind bat. They become horrified for 4 seconds, and 2 seconds later Shriekwing will descend on them, dealing a ton of damage to anyone within 7 yards of the detected player. These sound waves persist throughout the intermission phase, but after Dark Sonar cast is done, she will start patrolling or walking around the room, periodically casting Sonar Shriek. If a player is within line of sight of the boss when Sonar Shriek cast goes out, they are detected and they again get horrified then slapped. This also applies a dot on everyone in the raid. Lastly, Shriekwing will have a 16-yard aura of detection around her as she roams the halls. If a player gets within this aura, they die. They take lethal damage, around 160k or so. If you survive, you also get knocked back. And after a bit, this ends and phase 1 starts again. Gotta say though, as a first boss, this was a lot of fun, at least as a tank. I'm sure healers feel differently, but overall pretty fun mechanics, punishing positioning, and a fun intermission to deal with. Bit boring that you reuse the same room as Sludge Fist, a later boss. Not sure if that will be the case once it goes live, but bit boring if that's the case. But other than that, it looks alright, especially as a first boss for a new raid. And that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Make sure to check out my Patreon and join my Stankie Discord. And it also seems like my good internet will be arriving very shortly, which means I'll also be streaming a lot of testing during beta, as well as when I raid on retail. So don't forget to check me out on Twitch, Stankie Gaming. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.